All right, what do we got going today?
I think you're going to teach us on how to inject the infraorbital hollows.
Infraorbital hollows.
Or tear troughs.
Tear troughs, another way of
Do you
looking
consider it all the same? Even like the lateral infraorbital hollow? Do you consider that tear trough?
Infraorbital hollow to me goes from the lateral rim, medial towards the midpupillary line. And then as you go more medial towards the nose or the nasion, I think that becomes the tear trough. How about you?
Yeah, I think tear trough I consider kind of for midpupillary on medial. And I consider the entire breadth of that inferior orbital rim as the infraorbital hollow.
Okay, so let's watch it.
All right.
I'll show you how to do it right.
Oh gosh. So here it looks like you're using a 50 milligram per ml Vicross gel. And tell me about why you inserted this laterally to inject that infraorbital hollow.
Okay, so I make the same incision, the same access point whether I'm doing cheeks or infraorbital hollows.
Okay.
And I like that access point because it gives me the opportunity to reach both areas. I'm using a 70 millimeter cannula almost always.
22 gauge?
22 gauge, and I used a 22 gauge. And what's key here to me is a couple different things. One is to go through the zygomatic cutaneous ligament, which is a little bit inferior.
Okay.
And that together with the orbital retaining ligament, they come together and they form the tear trough ligament.
So you're kind of there right now. That's where your tip is.
So as I go medial, I'm into that tear trough, but I will go through the orbital retaining ligament.
You will.
I will.
And when you pop through that orbital retaining ligament, which I think you're doing right here,
yes, you see me doing
you're
right
wiggling
here.
your way right now. Where are you then exactly? Can you explain the anatomy there?
Yes, I'm now into the orbit. And,
behind orbicularis oculi.
Yes.
Into the postseptal fat pad.
Postseptal. Now I will tell you, recently you and I both reviewed a couple articles that talked about filler in the orbit.
Okay.
Many months, even years later, that was injected elsewhere in the face. Now I've been doing this for 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 years now. I've never
Look
seen
at you. You're in it again. You're in it. I mean, you're almost at like the lateral canthus there.
But the reason why I go through the orbital retaining ligament, because if I don't do that, then you get a little sausage underneath it, and it actually makes the hollow look worse. So this is an advanced technique. I'm not saying that everyone should do this, and I don't think you start out going through the orbital retaining ligament.
Okay.
But I do pop through, and for those people who are a little more advanced, you have to pop through. But my non-dominant hand is protecting the distal tip of that cannula, so it doesn't go intraocular or into the.
And you use essentially here 1 cc of product.
No, less. I use less than a cc almost always. Usually I'm using about 1/4 cc to 1/2 cc per eyelid. And I think it's important to undercorrect when you do this. I'll also sometimes thin it out with a little bit of lidocaine.
Okay.
Because I believe less...
Even with the 15 mg per ml Vicross gel?
I don't usually use 15 mg Vicross gel.
Which is your preferred product for this area?
The most common thing that I'll use is the Bellotero brand.
Okay,
the
cohesive
polymer
polydensified matrix gel.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go, guys. Now you can thrive in 3.
Infraorbitally. Thanks for watching, and please hit that like button.
And make sure to click on subscribe so that you can stay most up to date on all things thriving.
Like me?
You need to subscribe.